I'm here tonight and I'm listening to one of the videos. I went back to make sure I was correct on one of the videos of Emily. She calls herself Windsor Cragg, Cragg. She has a lot of videos up and she's written books. And someone told me that she was on the video because I had been putting up videos and I wanted to and that she was saying she was King Edward's daughter. All I'm going to say on here is because I'm really sick right at this time. All I'm going to say here is I did try to contact her because she does look like me. I found out that Edward VIII is my father and that I was born in 39 and kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama. Given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey, I married a Childers. They stole my identity. Both twins, Carl and Peggy, were dead. That's a horror story in itself, how I grew up. But I found out in '83 about my kidnapping. I was in a political campaign, and I had written a book, MD, A License to Kill, about programming and mind control. Anyway, I was in a political campaign and I started finding out about my kidnapping and my real name. And I began to remember things about when I was brought over. As far as I know, I was flown into Cortland Air Base, which had just been built during the war, and put on this pigsty farm. It was horrible, the people, everything. But anyway, I grew up and I found out about my kidnapping and everything. And I'm listening to Emily's, let me go back to this. She contacted me back, and I don't know at the time why I did it, if I'd heard one of her videos or what, but I unfriended her. I wouldn't answer her back. So then later, another Facebook friend of mine came to me on her behalf, trying to get me to join with her, that would have to join together, etc., etc. And I won't get into all that. The problem is that in listening to her videos, she's calling her father, um, she's mentioning a date out in Arizona, Memorial Day of 43, okay? I was kidnapped in 41, and I'm the legal heir to the British Crown. My father married Claudia O'Keeffe Windsor, American school teacher, sister to Georgia O'Keeffe, the artist. It was my mom who was not acceptable. They concocted this whole thing and removed my father, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the Freemasons, my own uncle, the Kennedys, thus the Warren Commission cover-up, because it would have led back to me, my kidnapping, taken down of my father. So my father never married Wallis Simpson, an imposter, a double did, in 1937. So now then, Emily Cragg is saying she's the illegitimate daughter of Edward VIII. Well, she's not, because in 1943, he was married to Wallis Simpson. Not my father, this is an imposter. And the whole title of Wallis, of the Duke and Duchess, is not real. Let me say this. This was from the British, someone who really knows. My father was still alive in 1986 when I came to Roanoke, Virginia, and so was my mother. The person she's claiming fathered her, the imposter that claimed to be the Duke of Windsor, and did all this illegal antics of wearing diapers, and people thought it was my father, some of them. But anyway, she was fathered by this man that was, I don't know if he's part of the Windsor family or what, because she does favor me. But she's telling about the Duke of Windsor was coming to Memorial Day to this place in Arizona, and that Wallis, she even mentions where Wallis was with him, but Wallis stayed at a hotel there. and that her mother was in the army, and it was arranged for her to be with the Duke of Windsor. And in it, she in her videos, she was unaware that this was an imposter. That's not my father. And she thinks he died in 72. My father didn't die. I don't know when he died. He was still alive when I came here. They tied his hands. My mother had money. Her family did. But they had me. There was an addendum to the abdication that was forced. This whole thing was a lie, a plot to take down my father, and they did. So I was born legal heir to the British Crown, Victoria II, the day I was born, which would have brought my father back as guardian and power of attorney for me. So thus my own uncle and family and the Rothschilds, the Freemasons, and the Kennedy clan helped kidnap me. My father had an addendum to his forced abdication that stated should he have an heir, it would not disinherit the heir. The heir would be the legal monarch. I was born, so therefore they had to kidnap me. They brought me to Moulton, Alabama, and gave me the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers, and that's his name I still have to use. In reality, I found out that both Carl and Peggy were killed by their mother. She was unwed, so they were illegitimate. So you're getting into this bit about, I grew up thinking, being told I was Peggy. I always said something was wrong with it. I knew it was. And then I could remember after the Brits told me my real name and everything. So I could remember some of it. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Emily, I had no beef with her other than it really hurts for her to call my dad her father when it's not. The imposter is. I can't explain why we look alike, but that was not my father. I mean, she's talking about leaving Wallis in the motel or at a hotel, and him coming there and jumping in the bed with her mother. I wonder if she'd like to make a retraction. I hope I still get the return of what's mine. And I have two sons, Mark and Scott. Mark is the heir after me, and then Scott would be. You know what is so odd? I did go back over this tape to make sure I was correct. She has a son named Edward, and she has her first son, I believe she said, was Scott. There's so many similarities, and like Philip was brought. I know now that Philip doesn't belong in that Dempsey family either. He was brought there in about 1944-45. He looked to be 2 months old when he was put there, and his name was Philip, or they named him Philip. Well, then you get, I'm the legal heir of the British Crown. Now you got Elizabeth is illegal. Her dad, George VI, had kidnapped me. Excuse me. And whole thing's a mess. You got Elizabeth marrying Philip Mountbatten, and you got Philip that's put there next to me, and then you got the illegitimate twins, and me thinking I'm illegitimate. I mean, and I didn't. I knew something was wrong till I found out my real name. Now you got this Emily Cragg claiming to be the illegitimate child of King Edward VIII, when in reality she's really the daughter of the double. Now, I don't know, he must be a member of the Windsor family or something. But anyway, he's buried at, he and Wallis are at Windsor. And he was buried in 1972, and my dad was still alive in October the 20th of 86 when I came to Roanoke, and so was my mother. I hope I get to go home and clear my father's name, because this world has really made a mess of it for him and for me and my mom and my kids. It's been holy hell because of my name and who kidnapped me and the crimes committed against me. And she mentions God. He's the only one that can set it straight.